Hi there, folks, and welcome to InsideTracks.co.uk. Please subscribe and like if you like this video, or comment and we can get better. So today, one of the things that I'm going to try and cover, because I've been asked lots of questions about it, is why is exchange trading the best, and why not do Arbing or match betting, as they seem to be quite risk-free, or why not just gamble, or isn't everything just gambling anyway? So I think that the best thing to do really is to go through each of the different ways of making money, because they all can make money, and say why I think some of them are better than others, and make your own mind at the end of it. Gambling. So we're looking at the gambler, and we're trying to actually work out what it is that a gambler's really trying to do. Well, normally if you're a gambler, you take your stake, your £5, whatever your stake is, and again, some professional gamblers, their stakes will be very high. But they normally wage a stake, and they're looking to get a multiple of that stake back as a return if the bet wins. So in other words, a gambler is looking to say, I'm going to bet £5 on this 3-to-1 shot, and if it wins, I'm going to get 3 times my stake back. If it loses, though, I've lost my stake, the whole £5. I don't get any of that back at all. The issue with gambling is that the odds are determined by bookies, mainly by bookies, okay? Unless you bet on exchanges regularly, most people still bet with online bookies who take their cut. Excuse me. So we have a situation where the odds are stacked pretty much against you already, because there's an element of what is happening being taken out. Sometimes quite a lot of money being taken out by a bookie, and you're not getting really the fair odds. And the other issue with gamblers is that they like to see big wins, and the bigger the odds, the lower the success rate. So if you're always backing 33-to-1 shots, don't expect them to be coming in every other time, otherwise you would be making a significant amount of money. If you're backing 33-to-1 shots, you can expect 34 losers or 32 losers. So the bigger the odds, the lower the success rate, the lower the number of times you're going to win. And most gamblers don't actually make a value judgment. They don't go, aha, hold on a minute, is this horse's odds real value in the marketplace? It's often driven by what they think. It's less of a analytical view, and it's more of a gut feel, really, for a gambler, or certainly based on their own look at the papers or look at tipsters to find out, but they don't really make serious judgment calls. So gambling has its place. Professional gamblers obviously work on the basis that they have knowledge of some sort. Certainly some of these guys who do make money out of gambling will be those people who are sat out on Newmarket Common with a pair of binoculars looking at every horse that goes up and down, and has their sources inside yards, etc., and therefore are well informed and have a slight edge over the rest of us who don't have that. Now, if we look at match betting is often talked about with sort of great enthusiasm, and it should be to a certain extent, because it is based on the generosity of bookmakers. Bookmakers make you offers all the time. They're trying to get you to gamble your money away, and as such, they want you to be part of their bookmaking offering, and be a member of their loyalty scheme, or whatever they want to tell you it is. And in order to do that, they offer new customers free bets, bet £5, get £20 free, whatever. Or they will make you offers as an existing customer, in order to get you to part with your money. Now, match betting tries to take advantage of that, and they like to say, okay, fine, I will bet £5, but I'll lay that off at the exchange, at Betfair or wherever. And then I'll take my free bet, thank you very much indeed, and I will then bet that and also lay it off at the exchange. And I will make 65 to 75% of the free bet value as cash. And that will come to me, and it will be lovely money, free money, a gift from the bookmaker. And match betting is quite good in that respect, and you can actually make money match betting. Certainly, you can do it off the introductory offers, which are extremely generous, and then you can scrabble around after all the different offers that they make, and you can make a bit of money. The issue is you need to open up a large number of accounts. That's for a start, which isn't a major issue, apart from the fact that the more you do this, the more the account that you're with will be looking at your account and saying, you're one of these match betting people, aren't you? So there are people in Ladbrokes and in Corals looking out for match betting enthusiasts. Generally, there's low stakes involved, which is good. It means that there's not a lot to lose, and you're looking at a percentage of your stake as a return. If you bet your £5 and get your £20 free bet, then the £20 free bet, you'll get a percentage of that as a return. It can be quite lucrative. We on Inside Tracks, we offer you a service which tells you exactly which bookmakers will give you the best offers. The ones that don't ask you for wagering requirements, which is a way in which they can actually make sure you can't get your free bets out as cash so easily. And we can give you 300 odd quid virtually for very little of your time, and it's pretty much risk free. So unless you make a mistake, and that's where some of the risk comes in. So if you want to do that, follow we call it System 200. Follow System 200, and it's like falling off a log. So you are looking to be risk free. So you're looking to say, okay, if you tell me to bet £5 and I'll get £20 free, I'll bet my £5. I'll lay that off at the bookmakers at the same odds, so I won't lose any money on my qualifying bet. And then the £20 you give me free, there's a system I'm going to use, which means I can, without really any issues at all, make £7.50 on every £10 free you give me, and that will be cash, and I can take it away. So you're looking to be risk free. The issue with match betting is that it's difficult to scale, and bookmakers close accounts, or when they see that you are a match better, they will suddenly withdraw a bet that you've made and say it's not valid anymore, or not respect the odds they've given you, and suddenly it's not risk-free anymore. You are having to manage that. So match betting is okay. There are sites out there that will tell you where you can get offers and what offers you can get and how much you can make. But the issue is a lot of hard work. It's lots of small bits and pieces here and there. The major amount of money you can make is through introductory offers. If you want to do that, do it through Inside Tracks, because we tell you exactly where to go and who to go to, and where's the least risk you could possibly take, and the most amount of money back. But after that, match betting can be a nice little source of income. I would suggest you could probably make £200 or £300 if you spent a little bit of time doing it. £200 to £300 a month if you put a bit of effort in. Now, Arbing is slightly different to match betting. It's a similar concept, except this is mainly driven by market inefficiency. So what an arbitrager is looking for is he's looking for a bookie who's making one offer on a price, which is maybe too high, and he's looking for somewhere else where he can lay that bet off at a lower odds and make a profit, whatever the outcome. That's very good. It takes time, takes effort, but actually you can get some quite good Arbing opportunities where you're getting half a point or a full point out of it. You get a price boost maybe out of one of the bookmakers, where that, if you take that price boost, you're getting a good point that you in value. from that bookmaker, and then you can lay off. So if you're backing it at 7-1 and you're laying it off at 6-1, you're making a point on your money, and that's a very, very nice arb that you can do. So nothing wrong with arbing. You do need to open a large number of accounts again. Generally low stakes, but because some of these offers and some of these boosts, they say, oh, yes, we'll give it to you at 7-1, but you can only bet £10. So you can't often make big money out of arbs unless you see a real opportunity in the marketplace that stands out. But once you go heavily into Ladbrokes, they say, and you make a killing with Ladbrokes, they'll turn around and probably close your account. So it's generally low stakes, and you're generally looking for a percentage of the stake as a return. Again, you're looking to be risk-free, but you need a lot of little bets. As I say, at one point at £10, you're not making a lot of money at all. So it's difficult to scale. And if you do manage to make it decent and scalable, you do find an offer where you're making decent money out of a bookmaker's offers. They'll go, yeah, we know what you're doing, and they'll shut you down, or they will just not honour the bets, and you find yourself thinking that you backed it with Ladbrokes. You lay it off with Betfair, and then Ladbrokes don't honour the bet, and the horse wins. You go and lose a lot of money out of your Betfair account. So it's not really without risk. The concept is risk-free, but it's not without risks. Trading, on the other hand, and the reason why I would recommend it. So I'm not saying don't do match betting. Match betting's absolutely fine for introductory offers and for ongoing offers if you just want to have a little bit of an interest here and there. And it's a clever thought, and it's a clever strategy, but I wouldn't rely on it. Arbing, again, you can arb, but arbing is a sort of it's driven by small bets, lots of them, chasing around the marketplace after numbers. It takes up a lot of time and relatively small rules. You need to be really set up to do it. There are some very successful guys out there who do it for a living, but really for you and me, if we want to do something in our spare time or with a few hours here and there, arbing is a tough one to actually make any decent money out of, and you go and make a mistake and you can lose everything you've done for days and days and days in just one bad trade. So trading, mainly driven by strategies. There are lots of different strategies. There's a completely different video where you can find out about which strategies might suit you. There are strategies that suit beginners. There are strategies that suit more experienced traders. There are strategies that you can do without software. There are strategies you should do with software. It explains all that. Go to the YouTube channel and look up in the videos on our channel, and you'll find one that will tell you all about the different strategies. When I'm talking about strategies, I'll mention one so you know what I'm talking about. If you take a strategy, you say, right, it's a back to lay strategy we want to follow, then there will be work that you will do in your strategy which says, okay, I am choosing this horse for this and this reason. The strategy will be supported by analysis and research. So, for instance, I tend to, when I'm doing a back to lay, I tend to go for mainly sprints on the flat, and I tend to look for races where there's sort of 6 to 12 runners, handicaps, and I'm looking for a horse that likes to front run and that is in a position to do so, i.e. drawn to do so, and there's going to be little competition that horse will meet. So I'm looking at the competition in the race and saying there's nothing else that's going to cut its throat. There's not going to be a fight for the lead. And so I would then say, okay, fine, I found a race. The horse is well drawn. It's the only front runner in the race. It's got a good jockey on it. It's got a good trainer on it. It likes the track. It's got some form there. Okay, fine. So we can reckon that this horse is going to lead, may even win. and therefore it makes a very good back-to-lay candidate. So that is a strategy. So there's a reason behind the strategy, and then you execute the strategy in a certain way to give yourself the best chance of making money. And you can look at horses, for instance, that you choose and say, okay, did they trade lower than their Betfair starting price on their previous, say, 12 races? And often you'll find that will also back up the strategy by saying, okay, on 8 out of 10 occasions in the past, it has traded in running at, say, 50% or more less than its Betfair starting price. Therefore, I'm pretty confident that this horse will do the same again. The odds are in my favour. And therefore, you work out what is value and what is backing up your thoughts about whether that's value or not. And then you're following that strategy by trading out based on that strategy. And then you're looking for reasons why your strategy might not be correct. Various reasons for that being, a change of jockey, for instance, or the going changes, or something happens, and actually the trades you're doing are not working out because there's a change in circumstance. The horse has sweated up before the race, whatever. So when you're trading, you have a strategy, you follow it, you look for, you have assumptions based on it's well drawn, it's got the right ground for the race, it's in, et cetera, and then you say, okay, fine, if everything's going to plan, then I'm going to trade this horse based on that strategy. And if you do that, then you will have a very high chance of winning. Traders look for returns as a percentage of the stake. And so you're basically, if you're putting £100 on a back to lay, you might be looking for a 25% return on that £100. So you're looking to try and make £25, and you're saying, what are the chances of this horse actually trading at a Betfair price, which will give me 25% return on my money? And you base your strategy on that. And then if you see that things aren't going correctly, i.e. you've said it's going to lead and it doesn't, it falls out the stalls, then you cash out and you take a percentage of your stake as a loss. So you don't have 100% win, 100% loss. You have a percentage of your stake as a win and a percentage of your stake as a loss. Stakes depend on the strategy, so they can be very high. If you ask, for instance, doing something called scalping, then you may well have very high stakes, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to take a very small percentage of a high stake several times, and that's what scalping is about. So often you'll find people who do scalp have really quite high amounts as their stake, but they're prepared to just take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% return, and they manage it so that, in fact, if the whole scalping and trading goes against them, the market, for instance, drifts dramatically when they've taken a position, then they will lose a percentage of that high stake. So there's always some risk, and the trader must and needs to manage that risk. But it is very scalable. You can scalp for £10 at a time, you can scalp for £50 a time, you can scalp for £500 a time. It's very scalable proposition, and you can, as your experience grows, you can go from trading strategies that suits beginners, trading strategies that suit small stakes, into trading strategies that need software, and that you can have stakes which are very, very large. So if we look at a quick summary, gambling, what's the mentality? The mentality is, I want to make multiples of my stakes return. I want my 33 to 1 shot to come in, and then I'll get all my money back that I've lost in the previous 32 runs. It's 100% risk, which is if I put my tenner on and it doesn't win, then I lose my tenner. And you'd like to, everybody always talks about the 33 to 1 shot that comes in. They don't talk to you about all those odds-on shots that lost. What's the opportunity? Well, often gamblers will say, "Oh, yeah, I know about horses. Yes, my own knowledge. Yeah, I studied the form. Blah blah." Some rely on tipsters, and some just rely on gut feel. Stakes generally are low. I don't know too many gamblers who love to go in there with £100 wins and £500 wins. You know, unless you're a professional. Because the success rate is low. That's the whole point. You know, you can't get 33-1 shots coming in every day, and if you're going to back, you know, even 10-1 shots or even 6-1 shots, your success rate is not going to be high, and the risk reward is determined by the bookies. What's the bookies going to give you? You know, are they going to give you 5-1 when it should be a 5-1 shot? No, they're going to give you a 3-1, aren't they? So you need to beat the odds because the bookies are going to take their share, and you need to beat the odds. So, for instance, let's just take a very simple process. If I toss a coin, it can come up heads or it can come up tails. There's an even chance that will happen. But will you get even money out of a bookmaker? Of course you won't. He'll never give you even money because he wants his share of the money. So you have to beat the odds. You know, the odds are evens, but he's going to give you 4 to 5. So you've got to beat those 4 to 5 odds to even have the odds that you should have had for the risk you're taking. So gambling is not great. And I would never recommend gambling to anyone because the long term is that you are unlikely to beat the odds unless you have some kind of edge, such as inside knowledge or whatever. And most of us don't. Match betting. Well, the mentality is no risk, fair, good, fantastic. The match bettors view this as free money. It isn't really free. It takes a lot of time and effort and energy and opening a lot of accounts and having money tied up in lots of accounts, etc. But it is true. If you do take the time, you can make money almost free. And I've told you about one of them, which is our System 200, which will give you somewhere around about £300, literally for very little effort, risk-free. Because the introductory offers are so generous. I'm not sure how long that will last, by the way, but at the moment they're fantastically generous. There's a huge amount of competition amongst the bookies for your business, and so those introductory offers are fantastic. And match bettors are looking at returns as a percentage of their stake. The opportunities are mainly driven by promo offers. Promo offers are well policed by the bookmakers. They see people taking advantage of them over and over again. They do tend to not like it and get rid of you. And match betting is often also done on market inefficiencies, but not so much. It's mainly promo offers. And match bettors, you always hear them saying, "Oh, they're giving a 6th place for something," and you'll go after that 6th place by backing all the races and laying all horses in the race. And then if a horse comes in 6th, that's your payoff. So it's all promo offers, but price boosts, extra places, etc., and you've got to know where to go, and you've got to know what to do, and how to drag that generosity of the bookmakers out without them finding out that you're a match better and closing your account or not honouring either the bet or the odds. So it's quite difficult, but it is good money if you can do it, if you've got the time, you've got the energy, and you really want to go after it. The stakes tend to be low, which is good. The success rate should be 100%, which I've told you why it might not be. And the risk reward is determined by you. The risk reward is in fact how much time do you want to spend chasing, a £5 free bet that you can then turn into maybe £3.50 or £4. So it's up to you. If you've got some spare time, you get yourself into it. You get the knowledge behind it. You maybe get hold of some of these match betting sites, and they'll tell you where to go and how to do it, and maybe you can make a few quid. I would suggest £200 to £300 for a bit of effort might be worth your while if that's what you want. Arbing, it's more difficult. It's a step forward, I think, for match betting. It's looking for inefficiencies in the market. the stakes can be higher than the match betting, therefore the returns can be higher. The success rate should be 100%, and of course the risk reward is determined by you again. How much time do you want to put in? Because if it's risk-free and you spend the time and you are very, very vigilant, Arbing is a lot of small bets, and sometimes that can be really quite difficult to keep. Where did I bet that? Because what you're doing, sometimes you're betting, this money in Ladbrokes, that money in Bet365, this money in somewhere else, this money somewhere else, this money in Betfair, and you've got to keep a real close view because they've all got to be, it's all got to be matched. So you can't have a position where you've bet too much with Bet365 and you haven't laid it off in Betfair, because you then have an exposure which then will, it will come back and bite you. So Arbing is not something you just get into. It's not something you just fall off and go, oh, I'll Arb tomorrow. It is something you need to have a lot of experience of, and be able to manage a lot of spinning plates. And trading, I've just spent a lot of time on trading, so I'll just do a quick review of that. Returns are a percent of the stake. Often any positive will do, and there is some risk associated with it. Your position could go wrong, and you must have a way out that you can use to make sure that you don't take big hits, because you can take big hits trading. But it's built on strategy. Which strategy you choose, as I said, there's a whole video on that. It's your own experience as you gain experience. So trading becomes more based on you recognizing markets, what they're doing, and what is the best strategy. It's driven by value. You'll understand the value of a trade when you get into it. You'll say, "Wow, that is good value." Oh, wow, that's really not good value, and your experience will start to tell you that. But again, that is again determined by the strategy. So I've mentioned things like back to lay. If I see a horse that's drawn one, best draw on the track, best jockey, etc., etc., it's been below its Betfair starting price 10 times out of 10, and it's 8-1. I'll think, yeah, there's value there. There's value there because that horse will get out in front and will trade at lower than 8-1 in the running. So that's really good value. If it was a 4-1 on shot, so it wouldn't be value. And the success rate should be high. If you are trading and you are not delivering a high percentage of your trades that are successful, then you will not make money. You can accept some trades, and you have to accept some trades will not make money. But the majority of your trades, I would say 60 to 70% of your trades, if they are not being successful, then you will not make money. And the risk reward is determined by you. You can go with small stakes, you can go with high stakes. Obviously, anyone in their right mind would start with small stakes and start learning and building up their experience and trying different strategies. And then when you know what you're good at, because everybody's good at something, you'll find one strategy, go, wow, I am actually quite good at this strategy. I like back to lays, so I'm quite good at back to lays. So I'm not really a great fan of scalping. So even though I do scalp, I'm not a great fan of it. So what you do is you find your niche and you say, yeah, I'm really quite good at recognizing the right horse or right event. I'm very good at determining what's happening in that event. This is the one I'm good at. And then when you get good at it, you can start raising your stakes and your returns will rise with it. Well, that's it. If you've got any questions, obviously make a comment, and I'd be happy to take any comments, because there are things that sometimes I think I've covered and I haven't, or things that I've said that don't make sense. If you've liked this video, please do subscribe, and you'll get all the videos that come out in the future, and like it, because then other people will think about watching it too. And I wish you every success. And well, yeah, as I say, let me know how you get on, and if there's anything that I can improve on, then please let me know.